Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Paramystic Podcast. I am Kristina Bloom. I'm your host, and I am here with my co-host, Glenn Boddice. And we are, well, first of all, how you doing, Glenn?
Hi, Christina. Thank you once again for inviting me as a on your show. I really do appreciate it. And I'm doing good, other than I was saying that these atmospheric changes have changed the rate of my brain, and I'm tripping over my words. I'm sounding like an absolute clown. So, fingers crossed, I managed to make my way through this episode with you today.
Well, that's two of us. So yeah, ever since that lunar full moon, what was that lunar eclipse with the full moon? My brain has just been all over the place. Concentration has, it's like, it's just gone. It's out the window. So we're going to have fun because
It's going to be interesting.
spirit is just in control anyway. And
Oh,
we are going to have some fun today. We're doing a channeling episode, right? So
yeah,
you're going to channel, and then I'm
yeah.
going to channel. And you have more questions written down than I do, but I feel like the questions will come up for me as the channeling is happening. So
Okay. Yeah.
that usually works better. I mean, I do have some bullet points and I had some students and a friend who had some questions. So I'm going to use those questions for the being that channels through you. And I'm really interested to find out who that is. That'll be fun. So,
Okay,
uh,
me too, because it seems to be a different persona that comes through every time recently. So I must have a team, a football stadium of spirit that come
there you
through.
go.
It's quite bizarre recently.
On a revolving door.
Yes, definitely.
Wow. So are you getting into spring a little bit, like the weather's getting nicer, you're doing more camping
It
or
is, yeah. And I think I was saying to you a few weeks back that because the weather's picked up, I can go out and on my adventures in the van. I can have my overnighters in the van, and I love this because I get to see parts of the UK that we take for granted, and I can just sit and I can chill and connect with the vibes of the location. And I find that it helps to clear my mind and also grounds my energy. I find it essential. And yeah, it just lifts my spirits. And I think you noticed it the other week when we spoke, didn't you?
I did. I did. I noticed it. You've left me a couple of voice messages and yeah, the difference from the day before you went and the day you got back, it's like two different people, two different voices.
Oh,
Yeah.
bless you. And
Yeah.
how are you? You've been off on your travels, haven't you,
I
recently?
have. I got to go to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and I know some people won't know where that is, but Michigan is the I think it's the only state in the United States it's broken up into two parts. And the northern part is actually attached to the top of Wisconsin, not the top of Michigan.
Oh,
So I know it's weird.
that's unique.
Yeah, I'll show you on a map sometime. It'll be a head scratcher. Apparently, neither state wanted that particular piece of land, but somehow Michigan got it. I don't. That's the story I heard. But I have a friend up there who lives on a beautiful river, sure, I know this, Escanaba River.
Glad you
See,
said
it's
that,
like,
not me.
yeah. Oh, that's an easy one compared to some of the words we have around here. But it's a beautiful place. It's where I first met the Sasquatch community and
Lovely.
communed with them and started channeling them. And she has two antique train cars on her property. The wheels are off and it's sitting on a slab. But when you're in that thing and the conversation gets right, it feels like it's moving down the track.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean it rocks. It's not supposed to rock. Like it is cemented down. I mean,
Wow.
it's and it doesn't physically rock, but the energy rocks and it literally feels like you're on a train.
Wow.
Yeah.
Incredible.
It is pretty incredible. We're going to have to do a show about this past weekend because we had some really interesting adventures in that train with the spirits and some fun EVPs. We actually had the conductor. of the train come through on an EVP and say, "Why me?"
Really? You've
Yeah.
actually got recording. That's
Well,
amazing.
yeah, except it didn't record. It came
Oh
through. It
no.
was set on recording. It looked like
Yeah.
it was recording, but there's no recording on it.
Isn't that wonderful? Our spirit, when they don't want to be,
Yep.
heard, they can
Yeah,
operate these devices, can't they?
they sure can. And yeah, he decided he didn't want the world to hear his voice, apparently, but it was very
Oh,
clear. And
that's
then,
incredible.
and then towards the end, we all took turns like being being with the conductor and making the train move and stuff, which sounds like crazy. People are going to think I'm crazy. That's okay. I'll take it. I'm crazy. It's okay.
Join the club.
But my last friend who was like, or she was the last conductor person. And she's like, we're going to do a really fast straightaway before we come in for the final stop. And, and when she said, okay, we're coming into the train station, all of a sudden a swear word came through on the EVP, holding on and going, oh,
Beep.
beep.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. And we did a fair up there. I got to speak with some people and help some people, and it was a good time. So,
Oh, he did so he was doing readings and things like that when he was up there.
right, right. Yeah, I went up there for the fair, and then I always stay
Yeah.
with my friend who has that very interesting property on the river. So,
Oh, I see. So that's nice that you got that balance, work
right,
and play, work and play. Yeah,
work
I
and
like that.
play. Yeah, yeah, it was fun. So now that I've
Fantastic.
distracted you, are you ready to channel?
You're a psychologist, really, aren't you? Yes, I'm ready to channel. You probably have to talk to your listeners and viewers
Yes,
whilst I
yes.
just prepare and get into the zone.
Of course, no problem. Go ahead, do
Okay.
your thing. So, Glenn is going to be bringing through someone on channeling who's going to answer some of the questions that my friends and students and I have come up with. And we'll see what kind of great wisdom that they have for us as he's channeling through. I know I've seen Glenn channel before, and it's pretty amazing. The people that come through him are very knowledgeable. Well, and
Hello
they're
there, you're right there, Flower. How you
hello,
going on?
hello. How are you?
Oh, I'm fair to meddling if I'm honest with you.
Oh, why?
Well, that's just a turn of phrase that I like to use.
Ah,
It's like I'm neither here nor there. I'm fair to meddle, fair
oh,
to meddling.
I like that. I like that. May I ask who I'm speaking with, please?
Yeah, of course you can. You're talking to Derek Arthur Brown.
Hello, Derek. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Likewise, my dear, likewise.
I had a friend who we were talking about reincarnation and
Okay.
coming back in different bodies. And what she said was every time we come back with ideally a new name, a new identity. But the question is, do we have a universal name when just in spirit?
I would say it goes further than a name. It is a sound, it is a frequency, it is a vibration. And that vibration, I would say, is assigned to the soul collective because, as you know, that you do fragment and you can do many things at the same time, but all relay that information back to the complete soul. So I would say it's not a name, is a sound, it is a frequency, it's a vibration that binds it all together.
That makes
Does that,
perfect sense to me. Thank you.
you're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you. And so when you are in your vibration, you are in spirit now. You have been here on earth, I assume?
I have, yes, many years back. Yeah,
Yes.
1934.
Yeah, that has been quite some time. Yeah.
So they tell me. It just seems like a blink of an eye.
Yes. Well, you are in a place where you don't keep track of time like we do to organize your days, correct?
Thank goodness for that because I was always terrible at timekeeping. Always late, always getting told off.
Oh, that's sad.
Well,
But
I was good at making excuses up, so I got away with it most of the time.
awesome. I love that. Um, and I love the way that when you come through Glenn, he kind of melds to who you are and his face changes to your face. I don't know if you knew that.
Well, we've been working on him for many years now, been trying these different methods. I mean, ideally, what we're aiming for to work with him is to have a form of manifestation, full manifestation of the communicator overlaying him as a vessel. But at this stage, we're getting there slowly but surely, but it won't be for some time before we can do it the way that we intend to do it. But we're so pleased that you can spot that, and we hope that your viewers and listeners can also observe these different mannerisms and facial expressions, and also the changes in the voice as well, because we do
Yes.
work predominantly with the voice box of the vessel, and we endeavor to keep doing that until we can get an accurate and clear communication into your reality.
I love that. That's beautiful. I don't know if you know, I'm a channel too, so it's
Oh, we know
interesting.
about you. We know about you. Don't you worry about that.
That's interesting. We'll get back to that. But I do have another question from one of my friends, and that question actually is completely different than what we were talking about. And her question is, has Jesus had multiple lifetimes on earth, and is he here now?
Good question. And to answer that question, I would say that Jesus, as you perceive him, I want to refer back to what we was talking about earlier about all the soul fragments coming together as one soul, one frequency, one vibration. Jesus is one vibration. And with that being the case, you've heard of many people talk about you are God, everything is God. Well, with the Jesus Christ energy, the vibration, the frequency, it aligns with those that need it in order to move them from past life enslavements when they come back into your dimension. And the Jesus vibration is very loving, very forgiving, and it almost, it I would call it like a babysitter for the soul. It helps to nurture the soul to rise up and move beyond the limitations of the previous incarnation that the vibration of the soul is still remembering. And so it's like a parent, shall we say, saying, come on, you're all right, come on. That encouragement, it's a vibration. And it doesn't matter what age you happen to be experiencing this, when the Jesus Christ energy enters your vibration, it shifts you out of your old ways and your comfort zone, moves you into a pathway of least resistance where it flows and where you walk in the path of righteousness and love.
Yes, I completely agree. I completely agree. And I love the Christ consciousness energy. It is strong and gentle at the same time. It's beautiful.
Definitely would agree.
Yes. As I mentioned, I asked a few different people for questions, and I have some interesting students. So, one of the questions was, are dragons real?
Yes, they are. They've been wiped out of your history on the earth plane. But those who are paying attention, the evidence is there for you to see and find if you choose to focus in on it. But they were worshipped. They was feared for many millennia, and then they were worshipped because of the magical things that they did. Not just the fact that, like, you see them burning things with their breathing flames and all of that, and flying and the big things. It goes beyond that. They were a vibration. and their vibration, their presence could change locations. You've heard of droughts, you've heard of crops not growing. Well, the vibration of the dragon energy, depending on which dragon came to that location, could change the reality of that environment. So it could grace it with its presence, and all of a sudden, those crops would grow again. There would be no drought, there would be no lack. And so, dragon frequency, I would say, again, it's frequency, but also they were and they did exist in tangible form. And just to add a side note to that, they are still around your planet, but they've changed frequency.
Yes. The frequency has definitely changed with dragons. I know that I have worked with dragons, and their frequency is really something pretty spectacular. Hello, how are you?
Hello, my dear. Lovely to come through, speak with you.
It is lovely to speak with you too. And I would just like our listeners to know we did have a little bit of a technical issue, and it is now straightened out, and we have a new communicator. May I ask who I'm speaking with, please?
Indeed, you have. You've got Eleanor Jeffries speaking.
Hello, Helena. It's nice to meet you.
No, Eleanor. No H in
Elena,
it.
I'm sorry.
Eleanor, yeah.
Elena, my
Yes, dear.
apologies.
You're
Yes.
okay.
And Elena, what my
Yes.
students had wanted to know was
Oh, you're a teacher, are you, my dear?
I am a teacher, yes.
Oh, isn't that
Yes.
lovely? Yeah.
Yes.
You must be clever. You must be very clever.
I don't know if I'm clever or guided by spirit or both, but thank you. I appreciate that.
No, you're welcome.
My students often have questions about
Mhm.
what happens when we enter the spirit world.
Oh, it depends on the individual. When you die, you mean, when you
Yes.
go home. It depends
Yes.
on the individual and what your belief systems are, because that can restrict you. It can restrict a safe passage, for want of a better term, into the hereafter. There's many terms that we can use, isn't there? But I would say, for me individually, when I passed over, when I left my body vessel behind, it was a blessing because I was riddled with arthritis, and it was very, very restricting, as you can imagine, very painful. It was like being a prisoner in your own body, but not being able to escape. So when it came knocking for me, it was my time to leave. It felt like I was released from this prison, the body prison, if you understand my referencing. And I
Yes.
felt free again and I could move. And it felt beautiful. I had this sense of euphoria, is that the right word? Yeah, euphoric feeling. And it's hard to describe because everybody has their own experiences. But for me, the one word that sums it up was freedom and love, because it felt like I was being enveloped by 1,000 kisses and 1,000 hugs from thousands of strangers, although they weren't strangers. In essence, they were all parts of me, facets of me, and we was all coming back together in alignment. And it was absolutely, it was beautiful. And from our human perspective, when you're confronted with this, I don't like using the word, but assault of the senses, you're bombarded from left, right, and center. It would bring tears to your eyes of joy.
That's
But
beautiful.
like I say, everybody's different. But for me, freedom and complete unity and love, that's the nearest I can describe it with my limited vocabulary. But it depends, what your mindset is like. Because I have heard of, and I do understand that there's many souls that haven't made the peace with themselves, with their journey, and they haven't been able to have the experience I have had because of that.
Oh, that's
Does that answer
lovely.
your question,
It
Miss
does.
Teacher, or is it Mrs. Teacher? Isn't it, Mrs. Teacher? Does that answer your question?
It does answer my question.
That's
Thank you.
lovely.
Thank you. And are you entertaining the idea of coming back into a human body?
Well, I would say entertaining the idea. I'm already here. I'm already talking to you through a human body. So on
That's true.
some
That's true.
level, I'm doing it, aren't I? I'm
Yes.
doing it now. But I know what you're referring to. You're meaning coming back into a new incarnation to have
Yes.
more experiences in this lovely planet of yours. Well, it was
Hmm.
once mine because I lived here. I would say, of course, we're all jostling for position to come back and experience these beautiful changes that are in actual fact occurring right now. And there's lots of us going up to witness the greatest show of the universe, because you do understand that a lot of we would call it Earth School experiences creates a domino effect into not only your universe but the multiverse. So it's an essential role, and it's a privilege to be on your planet in these changing times.
Yes, I have to say, some days it doesn't feel like a privilege.
Well, you say that now, but you know,
Yes.
when you move over, you'll be so thankful and you'll be like, I was there. I
Yes.
was there when that happened, when that change happened, when people understood who they truly were and they started to share love. I was
Yes.
there. I was in the front seat watching that show. It's such an honor,
Absolutely.
honestly. It
Yeah.
makes everything that you go through in your life very trivial, in
Hmm.
connection with that.
Yes. I fully understand that. I fully believe that. Absolutely. Um, I had another question for you here. And the question that someone wanted to ask, and I don't know if you can
Hmm,
answer it or not,
I'll
but the
try.
question the question is, um, overall, is humanity going to start having real physical interactions with other species from other planets, star systems, universes?
It's interesting you should ask that question, because, in actual fact, a lot of you are already having these encounters. But the
Yes.
thing is, you don't realize it because you're only looking through the physical eyes and operating with the physical senses, so to speak. But if you was attuned to the changes in frequency, you would realize that there was something not of this world with the person that you think is a person that you're talking to. You would feel it. There is, although they're saying the right words, they're moving the right moves. They're doing everything right in that respect, but their energy isn't lining up, so to speak. And it's an otherworldly sensation, but only those that have a sensitivity will fully understand what I'm talking about. But to answer your question, those beings that you talk of, they're already here.
Yes.
They're very advanced. They're very good at masquerading as something they're not. You would have heard the term shape shifting. In many respects, they use a cloaking mechanism that can change their outwardly appearances. Because if you was to see them in their true essence, their true form, you would find it grotesque. And that's not to pull down any of these entities at all. No, not at all. It's the lowering of their vibration to have an impact onto your vibration causes a visual distortion, if you understand.
I do. Thank
That
you.
this is why they use that cloaking. So, not to frighten and alarm. They're not here, not all of them are here to scare you or have an agenda. A lot are, shall we call them, spectators, and are watching, as we said, the greatest show in the universe. And if they can make a small impact, they can then know that they've served their role.
Yes. And I do know some of them. I see through their human disguises.
That's lovely. You are such a
Yes.
lovely teacher.
Thank you. Thank you. I don't have any further questions, but I would like to thank you for your time and your energy in coming through.
Oh, it's been an absolute pleasure. I've loved every moment of it. You've asked me lots of questions, haven't you?
I have. Yes.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Why aren't you following your passion?
I thought I was.
No,
I'm not?
not entirely no, because you see, part of your passion is not to worry about money and finances. That is holding you back. And one of your passions, we believe, is allowing us to communicate through you in a
Yes.
more public setting where your everything, your wants, your desires are all catered for. We would like you to do that more so in a public setting, and your higher self would like you to do that also. So
I will do that more often. Yes.
please trust and stand away from worry and fear about the financial element of it all. It will all fit into place, my dear. And in fact, you'll get a lot of people. Excuse me, I'm changing in something, but excuse me. Uh, Hello, 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 hello,
Hello. Hello.
hello, hello.
Hello.
Who the bloody hell are you? What what,
I am Christina. Thank you for coming through.
what the hell is going on around here? Yeah, right.
Can I help
Where
you?
where am I? Where am I?
You are coming
Well,
through a channel named Glenn Boddice.
oh, really? A channel? What do you mean, a channel? What's a channel?
Your spirit is using his body to speak with me.
Really?
Yes.
That's remarkable. Oh, my
Yes.
goodness. So, who am I then? Let me.
Yes. Who are you?
I don't know, my dear. Let me find out. Well, my wife used to call me George. George William, of course. But
Hello, George.
oh yes, yes, that is my name, George. Yes. Hello, hello, hello. What did you say your name is, my dear?
My name is Christina Bloom.
Kristina Bloom. Hey, that sounds dashing, doesn't it? Lovely to meet you, my dear. I do forgive my ignorance. It was quite a shock to come to. I wasn't expecting this. One minute I was sitting on a bench in a park looking at the swans across the lake there, puffing on a pipe with lovely smoky tobacco flowing through it. And the next minute I was, well, here I am. I don't know. I don't quite recall what happened. I was just in thought. When you're relaxing and you're taking it all in and you think, I feel wonderful. And that's all I was thinking in my mind. The next minute, well, here I am. I don't know
Yes.
what the devil happened.
It's okay. It's
So
okay.
peculiar.
Yeah.
So peculiar. Honestly, I can't begin to. I, I tell you, I didn't realize I had no hair till now. But somebody's telling me you have got hair, you bloody fool. It's
Yes.
the person you've come through. He hasn't got hair, and I'm like, come through a person. Good God, what you're talking about, man? I don't understand. It's all peculiar.
It is a little bit peculiar.
Is there a
Yes.
way? I don't know you, my dear. You said your name is Christina Bloom. Lovely name,
Yes.
by the way.
Thank you.
Is there a way you can maybe help me to go back and sit on that lovely bench where I was? Because
Yes, there is.
I've no idea. Can you help me, my dear? Because
I
I'm a little
can.
bit distressed. And
I can. Just
thank you.
slow down and take a
Oh,
breath.
thank you.
Slow down and take a breath, and then
Yeah,
just go back to picturing where you are and
thank
feel
you.
the bench underneath you
Oh, thank you.
and hear the swans.
Oh, thank you.
Feel the air in the park.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you.
Okay. Enjoy your time at the park. I would like to ask that Glenn be returned to his body and come back to us here in the studio.
Oh,
Are you
whoa.
okay?
Uh, yeah. I feel very cold.
I'm sorry.
Oof, slightly out of
That,
breath.
yeah, that's okay. Just take a minute.
Excuse me. Oh, that felt really, really strange.
Do you remember your last communicator?
I can I can remember like a tone of voice, but not what was said. I'll have to watch back.
Yeah. Let me just fill you in a little bit. I was
Okay.
talking to Elena, and
Okay.
she was sharing some information with me. And then while she was talking, it transitioned where she kind of got pulled out of your body, and someone named George William got pulled into your body, but he didn't
Okay.
know what was happening. He was very confused. He didn't know what was happening. He didn't know who I was, and he didn't know why all of a sudden he didn't have hair. Like he was very confused. And then he asked me to help him get back to where he was, where he had
Oh
been.
wow.
So he had told me he had been sitting on a bench watching the swans. So I just had him take a deep breath and feel himself back under there, feel the park bench underneath him, and move back there. And
Wow.
that's when I called you back after
Well,
he went back to his park bench.
well, first of all, thank you for helping that dear spirit that
You're
was trapped
welcome.
there, and thank you for bringing me back because I just felt rather peculiar all of a sudden. Then I was hearing this tone. It was like
Hmm.
and yeah, I felt quite tense. I
Right,
noticed that I just felt like trapped,
right.
tensed, and trapped. It's quite unreal, really.
That is quite an experience. I've never seen or felt that
Mm.
before. So,
Oh,
yeah, that was quite an experience. But it was really interesting to me because the other two beings that channeled through you
hmm.
had a similar cadence to you in their speech.
Oh,
And it
okay.
was different voices, but it was a similar cadence.
Hmm.
His was completely different. It was very posh, high, like, I don't know how else to say that, like almost
Okay.
royal speech, kind of like,
Ah,
yeah, a very different cadence. He was confused and he did not like being, well, nobody likes being confused, but he was very much out of his element and he had no idea how he ended up in your body.
well, that's unusual because a lot of, from my understanding, spirit communicators they choose to come in and blend, don't they? So
They
that's
do, yeah.
I didn't realize that could happen.
Neither did I, and I've been doing this a
Wow.
long time.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
that could be an episode in itself, couldn't it, where we
it
explore
could.
that concept.
It could.
Yeah, I've never known that before ever.
Yeah. He, I feel like he is someone who, I hope that he comes back to you because I feel like he doesn't know that he's crossed over.
Okay.
So That was what I got from that. He was just confused. He was sitting on a park bench watching the swans. That's all he knew.
As you do.
Yeah, as you do. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So, well, that was
Well,
fun. It was
thank you for
interesting.
allowing me to do that. I'm feeling a lot more grounded
Okay,
and I'm
good.
aware of my surroundings. So I understand you're going to go into trance now,
I
and
am.
fingers crossed,
Yes.
your the spirits that come through will be more than happy to oblige with some of the questions I have to
Yes.
ask them.
Yes.
So, Christine,
All
if you'd
right.
like to prepare yourself and get yourself
Yes.
nice and relaxed
Yes.
there.
I'm going to take the glasses off because they feel heavy when I channel.
Yeah, get yourself nice and comfortable. So, for the
Okay.
listeners and the viewers, Christina's just going to get herself nice and relaxed. She's about to slow her breathing down and just clear that space in her mind and align her frequency and vibration so that spirit can be a perfect blend and match, and to blend through her as a vessel in order to communicate into this dimension from their plane of existence. So, Chris, the vessel now is just getting nice and calm and relaxed. And there's a beautiful blending that's starting to evolve. I'd like to invite that beautiful energy now to step forward. We mean you no harm, and we show utmost respect and love to you and gratitude. Please hear my voice and draw forward through the vessel. That's it. You're doing absolutely beautiful. Come forward, my friend. So,
Greetings.
greetings, my friend.
I am Alma of Andromeda.
Lovely to meet you, Alma. Thank you for blending and coming forward this evening. We
As
really
with you, sir.
appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Alma, with your permission, I have a series of questions that I would like to ask you. If you could perhaps help with answering them, that would be much appreciated.
I will certainly do my best.
Okay. Alma, can I ask what is happening on our environment level and energetic level around the world in 2025?
This is a multi layered question with many multiple answers. The short answers that many of you have already heard from many sources is that your world is raising in vibration. The people, many of them, are raising in vibration. It is as though there are now two earths. There is the third dimensional earth that all of you have been aware of. And there is the fifth dimensional earth, where many of you are already aware. And if you are not there fully, you are moving there quickly. The fourth dimension in between is where the changes are happening, where you are seeing more of the darkness of some of the people and some of the systems on your planet. This is necessary, as if you imagine the planet as two planets, but the second planet, the fifth dimensional planet, is more like the spirit, the higher self of planet Earth. And as that higher self is separating from the dense third dimensional energies, that fourth dimension in between is created as people are going through personal transformations as your worldwide systems are going through transformations as well, where there are lights being shown into the darkness. The earth, the third dimensional earth, as it is trying to hold on to the higher dimensional, fifth dimensional earth. This is where you are seeing more of the natural disasters, more of the fires, the floods, the earthquakes, the volcanoes, the tornadoes, the storms that seem to come out of nowhere, and the storms that are much more violent than they had been in the past. This is all as a result of the separation of the higher dimensional planet from the lower dimensional planet. And this split, this separation of planets is only necessary at this time because there is a faction of humanity that will not release their third dimensional beliefs, their third dimensional way of life. And so those whose vibrations are increasing so much so that they can no longer comfortably live on the third dimensional planet are rising to the fifth dimensional. Some have been there for quite some time, and many more are joining that planet, are moving to that planet where there is conversation, where there is peaceful conflict resolution, where there is more love, more light, more sharing of resources among the people. And many of your animals will also be ascending and have ascended to the fifth dimensional higher vibration planet. When this process is complete, those who have not let go of the third dimension will stay on the planet and continue to destroy it as they have been, whereas the fifth dimensional planet will become more solid and less etheric as it grows in peace and compromise and communication and joy.
Thank you. You've answered the question beautifully, and I really resonate and respect your answer. May I ask some more questions to you,
Yes.
please? The next one would be if you have any guidance for individuals that are making that shift, that change, and they're finding all that trauma is pulling their vibration back to the old earth. Have you got any guidance to help them make that transition a lot more smoother for them in
Yes.
practical terms, please?
Yes. In practical
Thank you.
terms, it is not helpful for those individuals who are currently in that state of transition to try to do so by themselves. There are other humans, there are other species even that can help them move through it with more ease and more grace and more dignity and more love and more compassion than if they try to do it themselves. Those who are attempting to do it themselves often slip back into the third dimensional energy because they don't have, how do I say this? They cannot see or feel where they're going. They only know what they are experiencing in the moment. They only know that they are struggling without it a clear indication as to what releasing that struggle will move to. Struggle is a habit. Struggle can be an addiction. because much like worry, struggle can make people feel as though they are actually doing something, even when they are not. So, my practical advice is to find someone who you can talk to, who can help you explain what's happening to you, and who can help you move forward with less fear and more faith that you are going to be safe if you let go of the third D world.
Thank you. That's beautifully answered. Thank you so, so much.
You're welcome.
I have some other questions that aren't necessarily related to the previous questions, if I may ask you them.
Yes.
Thank you. My next question is, can you describe the process of channeling into our dimension upon the earth through a human vessel?
Yes.
Thank you.
First, there must be, at some level, agreement on both sides. We were present and witnessed the gentleman who found himself channeling through you and did not understand. But
Oh,
in reality, during his most recent human lifetime, he wondered about such things. He thought about such things. And that planted a seed that made it possible for him to do that even without being aware in the moment of what was happening to him. So there must be an agreement at some level on both sides in order for this to happen, in order
mhm.
for us to come through. And our host right now has, for the last 15 years, Earth years or so, been willing to allow us to come through. And she has had her lessons in doing so. And she has learned a great deal about how this happens. And for her, it might be a different experience than it is for others from the physical standpoint. But she raises her vibration and reaches out to the higher vibrations, the higher frequencies.
Mm.
And we are able to meet those frequencies. And we do have to lower ourselves some in order to use the physical apparatus. But it is not a great deal that we have to lower our energies in order to communicate through her or through you or through any other channel. Because anyone who is willing to channel knows how to raise their own frequency, knows how to slow their breathing, slow their heart rate, and make a comfortable environment for us to join them. This is how, when we blend with her, as she explains it, her vessel, her body, is never completely empty. As she is moving over, we are moving in, but she stays nearby to advise us if we need help with some part of operating her physical apparatus. She allows us to use her vocabulary. She allows us to reach into the higher realms of who she is to help us communicate more clearly through her physical form. Was that clear?
That was beautifully put. Thank you so much. And you paint such a wonderful picture with your words there. Very captivating indeed. So thank you so, so much. If I may proceed with my other line of questioning, again,
Yes.
all completely different questions moving forward now. Thank you. My next question is, what is the reincarnation loop?
Ah, this is something that, from our perspective, those who are caught in the in-between, in the fourth dimension, can sometimes be there for many lifetimes because they believe that they have to come back to fix something, or they have to come back and experience a human lifetime in another way. It is a thought process, but it is a deeply embedded process in the soul that believes that it has to achieve a certain number of things through several lifetimes in order to ascend. It is very much like any other dogmatic belief. If you believe in it, it is real to you. It is true to you. And where all souls are offered the opportunity to incarnate anywhere that they like if they choose to incarnate, many of them get stuck in the religious ideas of multiple religions that they have to keep getting better and better and better to earn ascension. That's not entirely true. They can simply decide, I don't need to learn that lesson again. I've already got it. Thank you very much. And they can move on and do whatever they want to do. The karmic loop is a dogmatic belief that many have been stuck in.
Thank you. You explained that very beautifully yet again. So I really
Thank you.
appreciate the deep, deep understandings you're bringing forward, answering our questions today. May I proceed with additional
Yes.
questions?
Yes,
Okay.
please.
So this question is, what is the process of spirit being able to be visible in our dimension upon the earth?
Mm. This again is something that needs to be explained from both
Mhm.
sides. There are some spirits. How do I explain this? On both sides, it comes back to belief. And this is again multifaceted, so I will try to make it as
Okay.
simple as I can.
Thank you.
From the human side, the humans who are still physical humans, living in your reality or living on planet Earth at whatever dimension, very few of them can see a fully formed apparition, mostly because they are afraid to. And so they tell themselves either it's not real or they want communication, but they don't want solid, visible communication. It's okay if you project into their mind's eye, but it is not okay with some people to see
Mhm.
a fully formed spirit in human form. From the other side, from the spirits who are still close enough to Earth to communicate with their loved ones or through a medium or even through some of the equipment that people are now using to communicate with spirit. That spirit has to be, first of all, close enough to a previous human life energetically to be able to form the molecules that can project that picture. They also have to, for the most part, want to, except for those who are stuck and do not understand that they can leave or that they have left their body behind. And this is where it gets very complicated because there are many levels of progression between when a physical body ceases to operate and the soul moves on from the body. There are many multiple layers in there where they can get stuck at any particular layer because Either they don't want to let go of the human life because they have words that have been left unsaid, whatever their reasons are, before they can move on into the world of pure energy. And that again is because that's what they believe. There are no hard and fast rules in the universe except that you create your own reality. And so if there is a soul who has gone on and has come to peace, excuse me, with their current level of existence, and yet they have love for someone who is still in the physical plane, they can project themselves. It is said that they borrow energy from electronics, and in some cases, this is true, particularly those who are doing it for the first time. And then there are those who are still very attached to human personalities, and they like to play jokes or pranks on the people with the equipment. And because they are pure energy, they can simply move energy from one place to another. And so they can take the energy out of that particular device and hold it or use it to become an apparition that others can see, or they can just set it aside somewhere and it can come back when the person leaves the building, which many of your investigators have experienced through that. Mostly it is desire and proximity to the human lifetime.
Wow, thank you. That was beautifully explained yet again. Am I okay to ask one more question with
One
you?
more question, and then I must return
Thank you.
my host body.
I really do appreciate it. So the last question I have is, how can we, and I'm referring to we as the human race, heighten our vibration to be living in harmony with our soul path?
Most of that is intention. And involved in intention is also that you must stop convincing yourself that you are unable to do that. Many people convince themselves that, oh, that's such a nice idea, but we cannot do that. I cannot do that. How can I do that? How can I just think about it and raise my vibration? But it truly is that simple. You simply think about it and you can change anything simply by thinking about it. You can, and we're talking about even within the body, you can slow your heart rate by thinking about it. You can change the cells of your body simply by thinking about it. You can raise or lower your blood pressure simply by thinking about it. Because you are, as Abraham would say, the leading edge creators of your existence. You are the leading edge creators of your lives and your experiences. So it is simply a matter of deciding that you want to and then allowing that to happen.
Thank you. That is beautiful. I really respect all of your answers and the wisdom and knowledge you brought forward today.
Thank you.
I would now like you to exit the vessel and please accept our gratitude, our love, and our healing for your presence today. Thank you so, so much. And I look forward to hopefully speaking to you at some point in the future. Thank you so much.
You are
Now,
very welcome, and thank you for your attention and your wise questions.
thank you.
Be blessed.
Thank you. I would now like to invite Christina Bloom back into the room. Bring the energy of Christina Bloom forward into the vessel. Take your time. That's it. Just anchor your energy, slow your breathing, slowly open your eyes when you're ready. Wiggle your toes and your fingers.
Oh,
Get
yeah.
that energy moving.
Already. Already wiggling. Ah,
Brilliant.
um,
Kristina,
yeah.
how do you feel? That was absolutely incredible.
I feel high.
Wow.
That was a very high energy.
Yes, I
Wow.
felt like I had to be on my best behavior around that beautiful individual that came through. Very wise, wise individual. It almost felt like a collective energy. It was that wise just coming through a single voice there. It did feel very high vibrational.
Yeah, that was interesting because I was nearby, but it was almost like my voice felt electronic. It was
Okay.
yeah, it was like
Yeah,
a yeah, I don't know.
it was very sort of monotone, like
Okay.
not a lot of emotion in the voice, but it was so powerful. I believe it was,
Yeah.
if correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it was Oma, or Uma, the the collective or the name that came through Uma, Uma or Oma,
Hmm.
I believe.
Interesting.
Very, it felt
I
like a
can't
high
wait to watch
council.
this.
Mm, yeah, you did amazing.
This
I
is going to
was
be an
so
interesting episode. Yeah.
definitely, I was so impressed the way that you just relaxed into that, and then all of a sudden, wow,
Wow.
different energy completely,
Yeah.
completely, and
Same with
the
you. I mean, you had three different ones come through you and you just flowed with it. That was beautiful.
thank you so much.
Yeah. Wow.
You still look
I
spaced out. Are you okay?
I'm a little spaced out. Um, that was some really high energy. That was um
Definitely.
the closest that I could explain it would be like Christ consciousness energy
Wow.
is the way it felt almost like that, but more feminine. I don't know how else to explain that.
It did
Yeah.
feel like feminine energy. And in fact, some of the questions that I was asking the collective or whoever came through you,
Mm-hmm.
I was inspired to ask them today from my guides. So I feel on some level, to me, when I was asking the questions, the answers were there in depth. So on some level, those questions and answers were already scripted in the universe for this
Somewhere.
entire session,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, I would
Um,
agree.
there was no tripping over the words or anything like that. I mean, the answers were so deep, eloquent, and yeah, I'm going to have to watch this back because
Yeah.
I was just mesmerized by this entity, by this vibration that
Wow.
came through.
That's awesome. Wow. I don't know how to end this. I'm not fully back in my body yet.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I do want to thank everyone for tuning in again, and please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and then go over to From Beyond by Glenn Boddice and subscribe and hit the notification bell and share both of them a lot because Glenn has some really amazing shows in his own right, and you're missing out if you're not getting that information. So, thank you, Glenn, for stepping in and interviewing Alma. Did you say
I
Alma?
believe
Alma?
so. Oma or Oma. Probably
Okay.
mispronouncing it, but thank you,
Okay.
Christina. It's been an absolute joy and a privilege to be able to join you on this session and just to be trusting and leave that sacred space, hold that space for spirit to blend with us, bring forward that wisdom and that evidential
Yeah,
information. Hopefully, we've managed to do that,
I
just
hope so too.
holding that space. But thank you, I really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Yeah, this has been a really interesting episode, and it's so interesting. I don't know half of what it was said, so I am
Same
really
here.
looking forward. I
I'm
am really
excited.
looking forward to seeing it, and thank you again. And I will see you all next time on Paramystic Podcast with Christina Bloom.